All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. It is the Thursday edition of the Steve Malzberg Show, and we kick it off from our New York City studio with Dr. Ben Carson, of course, a Republican presidential candidate and author of A More Perfect Union, a former Johns Hopkins chief neurosurgeon for pediatrics. Hello, doctor. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well.
I know you.
Talk to you again.
You too. I know you've been busy since I saw you 2 days ago at the Committee to Unleash Prosperity event here in New York City. You were wonderful. You got rave reviews, answering all takers with all questions. Let me ask you though about your campaign right off the bat. A new poll out today, a new national poll. You know, it shows you in third place, but with 10% compared to 40-something for Trump. So, what is your road at this point? Do you believe to the nomination?
Well, I think we need to do very well in Iowa. And, I think you need to do well in two of the first four states. And if that happens, the pathway becomes much clearer.
And when you say do well, are you talking about top three, top two, winning?
Yeah.
What? Which one?
Top three.
Top three. Okay. Is there any circumstance where if that doesn't happen in the first four that you reconsider your campaign?
If it becomes apparent that it's not something that people are interested in, whenever something like that would happen, I would not ever be one of those people who's just there for the purpose of being there.
Okay, fair enough. Let me ask you about your recent campaign shakeup. And the Washington Post reported that several of the staff left the campaign because they said that you were raising tons of money, as you are, but that it wasn't going to the grassroots organizations in New Hampshire, in Iowa. It was going for other things like private jets and different things. Could you comment on that Washington Post report?
I would simply say that with a startup organization starting up in March with no donor base, no Rolodex, no organization, the expenses involved are considerably higher than an organization that is already in place, that a senator or a governor or somebody who's established in politics would already have. That would be the reason that the costs were initially higher. Those costs are going down dramatically now because now we have an established organization. So I think all the speculation about that, the people who actually know politics know better, that others are simply trying to take advantage of the lack of knowledge of others to try to make it seem as if something is awry.
Okay, so heading into Iowa, here's the thing. There's the outsiders and the establishment, and we know that it seems to be the year of the outsider, or because of what's going on in Washington. But Trump and Cruz are also considered by many, especially Trump, to be in your category as the outsider. So is that problematic to you? Because you're certainly not establishment, and the establishment are the Rubio and Bush and Christie and Kasich. So how do you categorize yourself, with Trump and Cruz, or in a different category?
I categorize myself as an American citizen who's responded to the pleas of hundreds of thousands of fellow citizens to get involved and to offer a different alternative, and to offer an alternative of logic and common sense, and not of ego and politics.
Okay, that certainly does not put you in either camp. I want you to hear something that's resonating all over the news today, for better or for worse, and that of course has to deal with whether or not, and Donald Trump brought this up, although he says others did, and maybe they did, whether or not Ted Cruz is eligible under the Constitution because he wasn't born inside the United States to two American parents who are American citizenship, whether he's eligible to be president. And John McCain, who had some questions of his own raised on his eligibility because he was born at a military base and would not go after Obama on his birth certificate, rather than say, oh, this is ridiculous. Here's what he actually said today when asked about Cruz.
I do not know the answer to that. I know it came up in my race because I was born in Panama, but I was born in the Canal Zone, which is a territory. That's different from being born on foreign soil. So I think there is a question. I am not a constitutional scholar on that, but I think it's worth looking into. I don't think it's illegitimate to look into it.
Is it in Ted Cruz's best interest to try to get ahead of a question like that?
I would think so. I got ahead of it on being born in the canal zone when I was running in 2008.
All right. First of all, what do you think of the issue, and what do you think of the way McCain handled it rather than dismiss it? You think there's some vindictiveness against Cruz there?
I'm not sure, but it seems to me like the rules are fairly well specified in terms of who qualifies to be a natural-born citizen. Your parent is a citizen of the United States, and you're born on foreign soil, you are still an American citizen. And that has always been the case as far as I know. One of my children was born on foreign soil, and they're American citizens.
So you have no question in your mind that Cruz is constitutionally qualified to serve.
For me, it's not an issue.
Okay, and as far as McCain, you don't think it would have behooved him for the party just to say this is nonsense instead of saying it's an issue to look into? Dr. Carson? Oh, okay. All right, I'm told his cell has dropped out, and I know we were warned that he was in an area where this possibly could happen. Hopefully he will call back. But, I think John McCain could have taken a higher road. I think there's a disdain for Ted Cruz among the establishment Republicans, especially in the U.S. Senate, for what he has done, although I think what he's done has been good. They don't, and I think this is McCain's way of getting a good dig at Ted Cruz. All right, hopefully Ben Carson will call back. There's more questions I want to ask him. But in the meantime, Donald Trump has a new ad. It's an Instagram ad. It's short, but it's to the point, and here it is.
Women's rights are human rights, and human rights are women's rights, once and for all. Let's keep fighting for opportunity and dignity.
All right, so there you go. And we're going to have more on this later with the panel, and a Gimme 5, a great Gimme 5 on Hillary and Donald Trump. And I just hope Donald Trump keeps this up, because he said yesterday that if Hillary stops the attacks on him for calling him accusing him of sexism, he'll stop bringing up the women, Bill's women, and her enabling, if you will, Bill Clinton. And no, you don't stop just because she stopped attacking you. If you're going to be the Republican presidential nominee, you don't stop here. It's the women who are now coming forward are crediting you for raising the issue and giving them the strength to come forward. Now you're going to stop because Hillary's not bringing up you? If you believe your accusations against her, she's running as the champion of women. So it's incumbent upon you, politically and ethically, to keep it up. Not to back off because now she stopped the attacks on me. I'm sorry. It's the basis of our whole campaign. So we'll talk more about that in the later on. Also, I want you to see this. Let's put this up. This was Ed Henry of Fox News tweeting out that agents from the Secret Service are trying to block reporters from asking Hillary Clinton questions in Nevada. Is that really their job? And you can hearken back. Remember this? Remember this parade Hillary was in several months ago? And they roped off the reporters so as they could not get to Hillary to ask her questions. This is outrageous. And the Secret Service has no role in shutting up reporters. I'm sorry. I know it's Queen Hillary, but we don't play by the rules of the Queen. We play by the rules of the United States. Secret Service is there to protect. And by the way, last I heard, Hillary, they have guns. And last I heard, you didn't ask them to give up their guns like you want Americans to give up theirs. The Malzberg panel is next. Don't go away.